What is 32 minus 12? 20, right? You just subtract. But not under the new Common Core method.
Why are they going through this backwards method here?
This man who trained in nuclear engineering couldn't understand it.
I don't understand.
He wasn't alone.
This is how you arrive at the answer, my friend.
That's insane. That's so many steps.
Why does it need to be so complicated? Why are you adding things when you're trying to subtract?
We gave people questions for third graders. They got even more confused.
Add 26 plus 17 by breaking apart numbers to make a 10. Use a number that adds with the 6 in 26 to make a 10. Since 6 plus 4 equals 10, use 4.
What?
So our young learners might not be altogether comfortable thinking about what 9 plus 6 is. They are quite comfortable thinking about their friend 10. 10 is emphasized in our young grades as we're working in a base 10 system. So if we can partner 9 to a number and anchor 10, we can help our students see what 9 plus 6 is. So we're going to decompose our 6. And we know 6 is made up of parts. One of its parts is a 1. And the other part is a 5. We're now going to anchor our 9 to a 1, allowing our students to anchor to that 10. Now our students are seeing that we have 10 plus 5. Having now more comfort seeing that 10 plus 5 is 15. That's much more comfortable than looking at 9 plus 6, an isolated math fact.
Blank. So we're going to start with what we're given. We know how many tens? 2 tens. And we have to find out 10 times as many as 2 tens. How many tens does that equal? Well, we're going to first add 2 tens to our tens column. Because it says 2 tens, the 2 units have to go in the tens column. If it had said 2 ones, we would put them in the ones column. 2 tens has a value of 20. 10, 20. Now we're going to do 10 times as many. So each one of these units we're going to multiply by 10. This one we'll start with, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when we get 10 in a column, we can circle. So this is asking, when I have 10 times as many as 2 tens, how many tens do I have? Well, 10 times as many as means I have to multiply my 2 tens by 10, which I did here. So now I have, let's count how many tens I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, 10 times as many as 2 tens is 20 tens. Well, 20 tens, we know when we bundle, we can move over to the column to the left and change them for a single unit to the left. So, I could take this bundle and change it for 100, because this bundle has a value of 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. What? Well, we have 20 tens here. We changed them for 1 unit each in the hundreds. So now we have 2 in the hundreds column. So we have 2 hundreds.
I can use text evidence to support my inferences.
Okay, in your best words, can you rephrase that?
Text evidence is like details that you can support your inferences with.
Okay, beautiful. Layla, can you read the second learning target for us?
I can participate in a discussion with my partner about our inference.
Okay, good. Can you just put that learning target in your own words for us?
It means like you can talk to your partner about what your inference is, and you can tell them about your text evidence.
If you just take a look over here, what I did was I blew up on this chart a piece of the speech that we've closely read from Obama. The objective of my lesson today was for children to be able to read a complex text that they've already read closely and be able to draw inferences from it based on text evidence. So what I did was I made you guys copies, so you have them all at your on your laps right now. So if you could just follow along, I want you to pay close attention while I just read this one section and I focus in on what the text says and if I can draw any inferences based on what I've read so far. The students were given ample amount of time to really take on a complex text, and in this instance it was an excerpt from President Obama's speech that he gave in 2009. They had the time to closely read it and really highlight words that they struggled with and focused on how to get through that text, and they chunked it at their own level.
I'm ensuring that you should do good in school to get a good future, which means like when you get older, you get like a good career and don't just not get a good job, like not get a job. Yeah. And then in the text, which is right here. Yeah. Here and then up to here. Here in America, you write your own destiny, you make your own future. I accept great things from you, which is right there. Yeah. Which we wrote. So that was the text evidence. And another thing is don't let us down and your family or your country or yourself down. So that's what it means for the inference and the text evidence.
One of the things that I've had to let go of as a teacher was really just letting go and letting the kids take on the text at their own rate and go through the text and read it closely and read it first to get the flow, and then to chunk it and get the gist, and then to reread their gist, then to get the main idea. And the last learning target I want to highlight, I can explain how I make an inference and why it is important when I read. Okay, so the how part. How do we make inferences? What is it that you have to do?
A main idea is like you have to think more for the inference. Like the one that we did, you have to go into it.
Good.
So these are the things that we're going to focus on today. Using our text evidence to talk about the challenges that Esperanza is facing. We're going to relate, or like Ethan said, we're going to make connections to how the challenges can teach us about the theme of the story. And we're all going to work on making sure we're an active participant in our group, meaning that we're all going to try to give our input and share our ideas. The objective of my lesson was to have the students be able to formulate a theme based on text evidence that they have been collecting. In recent teaching, we've been going from a big idea to a smaller idea of finding specific details, and I wanted my students to have the experience of taking those small pieces and thinking more analytically into a larger literary element, a bigger picture, seeing the bigger picture. Well, they started out reading this entire chapter on their own. Then we revisit the chapter a second time and do more of a comprehension type activity. So it kind of builds over time to get to the point that you saw today. Continue to use the Esperanza chapter book to help them understand theme and see how the different characters play out, and by the end of the book, truly seeing what the author was trying to teach us. The carousel activity gives me an opportunity to provide them with many different experiences at one time, so they're not just looking at one piece or looking at a larger text. I'm able to zoom them in on something specific and then move them to something else specific so they can make some connections. I would say to a teacher that is just starting to implement some of the Common Core shifts is that they need to try it. They need to put their students into groups, give them a piece of text, and let them tackle it and see what happens. Because as you're walking around listening to your students, you will hear some great ideas and you'll realize that it is very good teaching to give them those experiences. And then you can base your mini lessons and other activities around that. But I think to get your feet wet first, to just try it and see how your kids interact with each other would be a good starting point.
Does your child learn cursive in school, and do you think it is important? Why or why not?
I think it is important for them to learn cursive in school, but they do not learn it anymore. They did 1 week of it in 3rd grade before the Common Core really got going, and now they don't touch on it at all, and they can't read cursive because they haven't learned cursive. So I think it is beneficial, but they